position to be. He's finally able to start farming again. Get close to finishing off the Manta style. Let's see, what is no one building next? So we're going BKB as well. Will have BKB soon. They're approaching a very strong timing of the dual BKBs being up. And they already have the Hammer, the Overlord from Resolution. So they can start playing in more advanced areas here. Gonna be down to D2 Hustlers to try and bounce them out as they play this big ball up style.
Yeah. Kind of the same tale as what we saw in game number 2, except come around the ones that had the strong early game and the strong laning phase. So Oldg are able to run at them and see if they can come around and, as we said, it's easy to be 100% dead. No one
might get revenge though. Oh, we got hit by an arrow from long range. Although they did not get the OD ultimate to actually reach him, so he also takes 0 damage there. He's fine. It's chill. Almost kind of nice. Alright, so they took away the first life on the Aegis. Yuma's gone though. Doesn't want to stick around. So that's actually pretty big on the map. Yeah, they might not get any big kills, but taking away this Aegis, forcing Oldg to have to play for their next timing instead of being able to go now, that feels pretty good for me.
Yeah, it definitely does. It was just a response to when the Yumi just lying late. Now has the Manta style done. 500 gold towards the Basher. Maybe he might have to build a BKB of his own this game. I guess there's not really much he has to work. Spell block, so
counter spell. What a you're an old school player. You're calling Undying Dirge, spell shield.
They all mean the same. I know that there's going to be someone who's super pedantic and be like, well, actually, it's counter spell. I'm just
weird about that. On this hero. Normally it's a 2-button hero. Down bottom. Speaking of buttons, Resolution presses some buttons to get the clockwork killed. Sadly, these buttons might get him killed as well. They're trying to come in with the rest of Oldg, making the rotation off of the smoke. Here comes the relocate. Bit of Malice is down. It's down on top of the reload, so they both the BKB very early on from Thompson. So trying to stay alive as long as humanly possible. Will still end up losing his life. No one does. Even through the BKB, suffering way too much damage. And Yuma and the gang are able to take away his life. 3 euros removed from play. Oldg, they were definitely going to lose Resolution there, but they thought they could handle the counterplay. Good patience from Divine Llama not to commit the Pit of Malice until he saw the relocate coming in and basically sprung the trap onto Oldg.
Yeah, 100%. And I think they got a little bit caught off guard from Adzentic's BKB. It literally just came out on the courier, so they went up high ground trying to deal with a few more of these heroes. They spent a lot of BKB timing for both no one as well as Hobson trying to kill the Mirana. So now that Dakota is dead, then they can't really do much else with the BKB's active. So the two Hustlers do a good job once again of just biding time until the enemy match is getting scary. He's getting close to that tipping point. Hasn't really taken over the game just yet, but Basher is going to be a big little item spike for them to play around with. And once they do start reaching that, the Abyssal Blade is only a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Game very close for both of these squads. 2k gold lead for the D2 Hustlers. They are currently in possession of a 70% probability win from Dota Plus, but we've seen across the series that these odds can shift very rapidly given a couple of key events. See what they're going to be able to do on the side here of Oldg. They need to deal with the smoke right now, though. D2 Hustlers are pinging out this top lane. So no one can get yourself out of here in time, my friend. Does have backup coming in. There's a Seb here with Resolution. They might be able to jump onto the backline of these heroes instead. Storm Spirit not here. They TP out the Disruptor. They get Resolution first and foremost. Static Storm though dropped immediately. And they get the quick burst onto the Clockwork. Will D2 Hustlers be able to escape from this though? Moonlight Shadow is down. Not carrying again. So he doesn't have the vision onto Mirana, but here goes Yuma in the middle of the team fight. Although we're also getting right click damage from no one. Almost helping to kill the Underlord, but there will be salvation from the Asset Imprisonment. Divine Llama comes back to life and top will finish him off this time around. Seb doesn't have any more relocate. There's no more BKB on no one. No one is isolated. No one is gonna die. Yuma all of a sudden gonna be threatening Thompson, who has no more mana remaining. Seb can't get him out of here. The best he can do is try to top him up on mana. And he gives him just enough to be able to leap away. But unfortunately, his own life will be given up in the process. It's a 3-for-2 trade in the top side of the map as Oldg, they thought they had the numbers necessary. They took down Theoloker at first, but he buys back, comes back in, turns the fight around, and that is going to be another set of gold just going the way of Yuma on the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern right now for Oldg, right, is that they're not doing anything. Being able to run rampant in all these team fights. You can see the shot comes in here from Theolacor, and no one with that freshly picked up Brit Stick just does damage, man. Just sits back and absolutely blows them up. Maybe overextending just a little bit here for the side of Oldg. They do deal with the Mirana, but you can just see the damage this Mana Void just did do, and without the lack of lockdown, like once there's no raw, once there's no kinetic field, it's hard for no one to sit there and just throw out the right clicks. So that's something that needs to back here for Oldg, really getting no one in position to be able to just hammer down the right clicks on Anti-Mage, because I think if Yuma ever gets caught, like, and no one's around, we'll deal enough damage to kill the Anti-Mage.
Not the tankiest hero in the world just yet. The way that these fights are going, Yuma has been allowed to play fairly freely. And what's concerning is Adjuntech already been very good with the Astral saves. And this gets even better once he picks up the Aghanim Scepter. She is building into right now. Almost halfway there. Oldg, their problems will compound as this game goes on. And that was also a BKB charge expended from the Storm Spirit, as well as yet again from the Nature's Prophet. So both of them only down to 7 seconds. That does not fill me with happiness, because this Pit of Malice, we already saw the impact it could have in that last fight. Divine Llama, it'll be even easier to make sure he gets off some critical hits in the next couple of fights.
Yeah, just being able to constantly throw them down in such a nuisance to both Oldg into the point now where they are close to these items spikes, so they want to try and fight. Rezo thought he was going for a BKB, but looks like he's got something else rolling out here on the... it's going to be the Blinker, okay. So they know that they want to try and have this quick initiation to be able to get on top of Anti-Mage, take that Yuma, blow him up, see if they get killed. Position that into maybe some towers and some objectives.
See where this goes now. Moonlight Shadow popped in. They do get a zip middle onto the Mirana. She is probably going to end up dying. Nope, somehow still alive. Don't have enough. There's going to be a bit of mana. Down to 3. Here comes Yuma. Yuma looking for the damage onto no one, but is caught inside the Static Storm. Needs a distance to get out of it. Primal Roar will be there. The damage from Thompson and laid over it. And that is going to be enough to grab a kill. There is a big ultimate from this OD, but it's not enough by itself. They have to TP out and flee this fight. Because both cores of the Underlord and the Anti-Mage will go down, and they go down at the worst possible time, leaving a free path into the Roshan pit for Oldg.
I think the biggest thing is just the pace coming from Oldg. They went in, they didn't overcommit all too hard, and then Yuma just walked in feeling pretty invincible. Theolacor in the bottom side, and yeah, like Yuma just being... That was it. They get the kill there on the Anti-Mage, so Oldg gifted. Been able to completely abuse it just yet, but they get the Aegis now onto their Nature's Prophet. No one is really starting to ramp up his farm. BKB, Silver Edge done now as well, going to get close to AC, so he's going to be a right
I do think after that fight, Anti-Mage has to get BKB. Static Storm is doing a little bit too much work right now. So if he ever wants to have any hope of playing that aggressively in the fight again, BKB has to be the solution for the AM. We'll see if he decides to build it upon the respawn, as no one taking down the tier 2 tower in this mid lane. They're upended the odds now. They're the ones that are sitting in the pole position. All up to D2 Hustlers to see if they can help turn this game around. I think you don't fight until you have the BKB on AM, and maybe until you have the Aghanim Scepter on OG as well. And indeed, yep, he queued up BKB. He knows. He saw what happened in that fight. He's like, Static Storm too good. Need a defense against it.
Yeah, you just need to have some way of playing around it, because it's gonna be hard for them to try and kill him regularly, right? Like, if they Static Storm the OD, then Static Storm anybody other than the OD, he's just gonna save them. So we can even play pretty greedy with his BKB if he does have an OD.
Just be careful, bro. Yep. And they are smoking that circle, looking for a target, and that target will be the Mirana this time around. So Hakoda, somebody's gonna tank this out. No one gets yet another kill under his belt. Has long since maxed out this Desolator, but nonetheless, a little bit of gold in his back pocket. More and more farm for Oldg.
Yeah, just more picks, more farm, more map control. More moments for them to really try and close this one out. He's gonna go for a bottom. No one, so he's gonna try and have the animate drop you on down always hit the top.
Ooh. Shout out the Oldg using his own body to break the attempted moves that was gonna be made onto the Phantom Mage. Yuma gets to live. The Oldg not so lucky, but they'll take it. There's no one. He was definitely going to die in AM because they just picked up the level 20 talent that Major Prophet. At the same time, they blocked them on the retreat. They're trying to bring down Sid. They should be able to get the kill. Yuma coming back for his life. No one doesn't have access to. He has access to BKB off the second life. Big mono void from the disruptor. That no one falls even lower. How will they deal with him with BKB though? They do have a Bristle Blade, but they try to jump away from him. Bit of malice. They might catch up to Thompson. But Thompson gets the catch onto the OD first, and they bring him down. And no one trying to be this right-click engine. Turret Nature's Prophet. Look at him go. Able to get a double kill with raw right-click damage here inside the dire triangle. So making him up in this engagement.
Yeah, he just was able to pick up the butterfly and just deliver. And I think he only really has to be worried about AM, honestly. If AM's dead, then no one really has no one. I've been waiting a long time. So yeah, he's in a really good spot, and I like his build that he understood that the way that this game is going to go is he needs to literally just be able to deal damage to image through a BKB if it ever does come out, right? And just be able to tear him to pieces through physical damage. And that's why, you know, this Deso build is gone for the extra bit up. Red is always nice. Still have that magic damage in your pocket, but yeah, no one's been playing really well. And he's been playing really well this season. So could be a big carry for performance from Sonova.
Also got rewarded by Gaben. Titan Sliver on Nature's Prophet. This is actually amazing. One of the best stat heroes in the game overall. Getting some 20% base attack damage always feels very good. And with that butterfly that he has, nobody on the side of D2 Hustlers wants to be building MKB. Anti-Mage can do it if need be, but not necessarily a desired item for him. OD doesn't want to do it. Maybe they build like some Bloodthorn, but it's still a long time in coming in terms of gold outlay. Gonna pop the Moonlight Shadow as well, but they need to be careful because now Oldg cognizant of the fact that they're making a movement, and they are ready for this, man. Look how they're positioned here. If you try to make a jump, you don't have adequate vision, these heroes can now blow you up in an instant.
Yeah. Both teams. Put themselves in a spot where they can so Satanic almost available here for no one with Yuma. Does have his BKB now as well, so he's got his the edge.
Oh, some pauses. Somebody must be lagging. Okay, have a monitor issue for Divine Llama. On the other side though, Yuma has a bit of a farm issue on this anti-mage. Needs net worth and he needs it right the hell now. And so many items that he still has to build. I think he might be in a little bit of one more item syndrome for himself. One Skadi,
Yeah.
Once Butterfly. At some point MKB would be nice, but just need any kind of way to get through the evasion of no one.
And then it could also get to the point as well where you're just like, oh, Skadi's just not enough effective HP, and then you start contemplating, do I need heart? Do I need Fury? Like, well, very much one item syndrome could be pretty real. I think that's kind of starting to set in a little bit here for Zantic. He's at the point now where he's done this build with the Aghanins and the hasn't really worked out. There's been like 1 or 2 saves, but like not game breaking saves where the literally gets reset just because.
I'm gonna smoke up here, but they smoked up right underneath a hawk sent in by this Beastmaster. It was just before nighttime hit, so it definitely was scouted. We need to be careful. Break out onto this anti-mage. Playing a little bit very far forward there, but we're not gonna try and throw in a roar or anything. He's gonna go back and farm. He's farming into getting a Battle Fury, but no one already trying to itemize towards having an MKB so that they are ready. Divine Llama bottom. He does not have a blink available for himself, so he might end up dying here. Can he get through the gauntlet? No, he cannot. But the allies are coming in to try and hawk him out. They're going to be going on to no one. A Blizzard Blade will stun him up. Toxin. BKB is about to end. They need to be careful. No one. Astral up. He's in an awkward position right now. Birds away in HP. No one turns around at the Botanic, but he gets gashed by Yuma. Yuma able to find the kill. They've already taken out Resolution. And now Toxin. Oh, more salvation coming. The Astral plays. You wanted to see them, Fluke. You're getting to see them now. Adzentic keeps the fight going for the D2 Hustlers. They prolong it past the duration of the PKBs. They throw in the damage from this anti-mage. Somehow, some way, yet again, D2 Hustlers reset this game and pretty much bring us back to parity.
Yeah, really good set of circumstances there for D2 Hustlers. You can just see it in the that just not able to do enough damage. You see they were going in here onto Dalai Lama, able to come in with zip, blow him up. As soon as the reinforcements start coming in, ticking very, very hard for Oldg.
天辉军团全面加固， 天辉下塔正受到攻击。
He's kind of juking and jiving and kind of walking on the edge.
天辉下塔已被摧毁，天辉中塔正受到攻击。
OD, not so much just about the disruptor counter, but I think just him in general does really, really well into usually what Oldg like to do. They like to try and, you know, push the limits of their heroes and push the limits of what is acceptable for a dive. And, you know, sometimes all it takes is an extra 1 to 2%, and that 1 to 2% can just be the Astral. So, makes a lot of calculations.
天辉中塔正受到攻击。
Wrong reads. Weird kind of metas when they see something.
This was also the fight where they don't have the MKB just yet for no one, and that fight started just after Divine Llama picked up his halberd. The kill took them a little bit longer than they thought it would. Great dog crit from him as well, making them think that he's just escaping, but bringing in reinforcements. Now D2 Hustlers won't necessarily be feeling like they're in the pole position, but certainly feeling okay about their fighting prospects. And we're starting to see now that these BKBs are at 6 seconds. Feels if they don't burst their target immediately as they go, and it starts to feel really, really hard for them. Top lane, speaking of burst, I think Rezo needs to be careful. Could find himself bursted down, and they jump on him. They missed the hook shot. Yuma did find the right read, but Rezo had a blink dagger, so he's okay. Game is hanging by the balance. Luke, anything could happen over the course of these next few minutes. It's all about Roshan right now. 20 seconds until he respawns. We've seen that Oldg had some success this game in taking and controlling the Roshan pit, but across this series, D2 Hustlers have made magic happen in this area as well. Yonako pretty much won game 2 off the back of a Roshan fight. The Oldg will remember that and will play very cautiously around this area.
Yeah, and I think also probably where Clockwork will start to shine, right? Like if you just hit that perfect timing to be able to disrupt the Roshan attempts, and even with the OD, once he starts getting towards that blink dagger, that's when it's really going to start to become very, very hard for them to play around this team fight. So getting to the point of the game now where Animage is hitting his peak, we'll have a little bit of a plateau and a fall off very, very soon once he starts hitting towards those 5-6 items, and Natures and as well as Storm start hitting their late game items. But this is the perfect time here for D2 Hustlers. Fury online, Butterfly online, pardon me.
Try go for the smoke play here. They get the hook shot out. It doesn't necessarily land on the direct target, but they still blow up the disruptor. That's one down. Buyback is available if need be. And Roshan is up. They scouted it. Everybody knows. The question is, will they buy back on Kitrak to try and defend this? It's going down fairly quickly here. They need to make a decision and make it soon. There's the buyback. The TP's in. And it's not dead just yet. It's at half HP right now. So D2 Hustlers can still try. But they're also going in with the Moonlight Shadow. Let's see what they decide to do here. Yuma blinks onto the high ground. Oh, they forced out Static Storm. That is pretty huge. That's one of their big team fight spells here. And they found a catch. Will they be able to get this kill? Oh, just a Black Dragon. That's fine. But they found a more important target. And Yuma has found one. He found Zeb. Will not be able to find the kill just yet. Though. Will the damage be, but the final roll at the right, the damage will be enough to kill him. At the same time, they also got the catch onto Toxic. BKB will come out though, as they do not have the damage to kill him in time. No one. Gets himself after up. And Toxic, caught inside the middle palace at the BKB end. Yuma has brought back. He wants to re-engage on this fight. Advantic gets off the Asper onto Clockwork. Bylama will finally die. No one just does way too much damage right now. However, there's no more BKBs. Yuma jumps onto Resolution. Resolution falling low. They get the Electric Vortex out. They haven't managed to get the kill onto the ultimate just yet. They will find Rezo, who buys back instantly. Yuma needs to be careful though. Leashed up by these Nature's Prophet roots. They just want to try and clear out this Roshan, get the Aegis into the hand of the ultimate. They need the secondary revive. King Malice keeping the fight going right now. Toxic jumps in, but Toxic is too late. Will he get the cheese? Yes, he will. He plenty of HP. He needs to zip this way, and that dies to the Mana Boys. One strong hit from Yuma ends up winning the fight. Advantic still keeping the whole team alive. The Bylama hurts longer and longer, and now no one has the ultimate directly on top of him. AM will soon switch his targets, going on to Resolution instead. In the meantime, on the outer edge of the fight, they have managed to bring down Advantic, who buys back almost immediately. No one will be able to fight the entire world by himself. Ultimate right on top of him. So is the Bylama, and no one has been strong. He has stood tall, but eventually he will fall. But enough protection. Finally, there comes out the dust. Glimmer Kid gets taken away. The life of this no one Nature's Prophet gets taken out as well. And D2 Hustlers, yet again, fighting around the Roshan pit is their lucky charm apparently, as they do manage to kill 4. It costs buybacks. It costs a lot of resources. It costs the life of Anti-Mage once. But ultimately, AM still sitting with an Aegis. They still find themselves with a 10k network speed after that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that fight definitely started to feel like D2 Hustlers are finally starting to get a stronger hold of this game. As we're looking back at the replay, you can just see the amount of time that they were able to get actual saves. And that's the big kind of discerning factor between Oldg as well as D2 Hustlers right now, is they have to commit so much, they have to commit so heavy on trying to kill one of these members, and then Azantic is just able to sit there and just action prison people, able to walk freely thanks to the Aghanim Shard as well. And it was all about trying to keep no one there to get these right things going, and Yuma, perfect buyback from him as well. Overextended, able to get his life, get his second life complete as well, and now they have taken a full lane of rack. They're going to look for a second one on top of the buyback from Thompson. And the game really kind of ground to a halt for a long time there, and eventually was able to be taken hold of here for D2 Hustlers.
Can't believe D2 Hustlers just keep doing this. Keep finding these like miraculous fights. It all started with that play bottom where they thought they killed Divine Llama, but he was just a bait, setting up for a much bigger fight to come thereafter. This That was the fight that gave them the goal to finish off this Aghanim scepter for Adzentic. Allowed them to get a much bigger amount of net worth and experience onto Yuma. He now has the full butterfly, Whistle Blade in tow as well. No buybacks available for anybody except for this Wisp, but Seb, his buyback alone won't be able to win this game out for Oldg. And because there's no buybacks left, everybody's stuck in a dieback situation except for no one who's still trying to farm his own buyback. If this Storm Spirit dies, is that just GG?
It potentially could be, oh, they're going to go for a particular play here on a no one.
Oh no, they find no one. They might be trying to force out a buyback onto him. BKB will be activated by him and he tries to turn around for this fight. Yuma in the meantime gets off a huge amount of going onto the structure. 50 seconds of the game, dead no buyback, and now no one. BKB is finished. He needs to get out of this fight at all costs. Moves up into the air, Biocoda. There's going to be the arrow as well, catching directly onto him. Yuma knows where no one is. They're going to get the right click damage out, and he's gone. Down for the count. No buybacks though, 40 gold short at this stage. And they also cleaned up the IO as well. This might just be that, Fluke. They're gonna go and get it. Use the second lane of Rax out of this. And if they don't see a buyback coming in from no one, they're gonna try and go for the jugular.
Yes, they can definitely close this game out right now. And once again, it is just so easy for Adzentic to just come into these fights. It's so many clutch saves, man. It's like so easy for him to just sit back and just keep his buddies alive and these two hustlers. Starting to really make a showing for it here in Q2.
No buyback coming in from him. They're going for the Hail Mary fight. No one has fought back. Doesn't have BKB for 20 seconds. What impact can he have upon this fight? They have not caught vision of him just yet. They know where he is now. They're not interested in him. They're interested in the game. They're interested in getting the megas. Yuma will succeed. The mega creeps online. Alrighty. The question is, will they go to try and end this game? They're jumping onto Kidrat. Kidrat gets him out of way route. He's gonna drop the back bomb though before going down. Adzentic though, he saved the life of the anti-mate. Thompson trying to jump back in to go onto Adzentic OD, but the Adzentic OD saves himself once more. A Pistol Blade is there. The bashes out onto Thompson. Thompson falls back into the face of the arrow, catches directly onto this one. This nature's tournament is gone. Only 2 heroes to defend against 5, and they realize it cannot be done. They throw in the towel. GG, well played is called. Oldg falls to the D2 Hustlers in game number 3. What a series we've had on our hands. And Divine Llama with the young groove, the shoulder shit.